Hello Mavericks, welcome to a brief tutorial that is a response to a delightful email that we just got in the cultural anthropology class. When I opened, of course, emails tonight and I opened up the inbox, Audia Allen had sent something saying that here is Dee and I's first attempt at using green screen, and you see there's a
Let's be
YouTube,
honest here.
and she's going to want to remove the green screen, and it is challenging, especially using OBS Studio. So my suggestion is that we use Davinci Resolve and do it in Davinci Resolve. It's free, except if you want to do really fancy techniques, and you can find Davinci Resolve online if you just type in Davinci Resolve, and then here it is right there. It's a really good editing package, and you do the free download. You don't have to buy it for $295. Not that that would be a bad investment because it's a great program, but you can do so much with the free version. Marvel uses it, so I mean they use the professional version, but the free version works really well. So get DaVinci Resolve, and of course you can get 2 points an hour or more for documenting your journey learning DaVinci Resolve for the course. So it's well worth it because it does all the effects that you'd want. So spectacular program. So get DaVinci Resolve, and then we can go to your houseplant debate video, this excellent video, that 3-minute long video, and we can download it by going to 4K Downloader, and you find 4K Downloader for free also. Get the free version of 4K Video Downloader and download that, and you don't have to pay for the amount that you need. I have 8 downloads left. Every day I get 10 downloads, and I downloaded that, and I downloaded this. So I downloaded 2 videos, still have 8 more, and then I'm going to go to sleep, so I'm not going to get my 8 daily downloads. So I downloaded that by pasting the link from here, from the URL. I just copied it, and then I went to 4K Downloader, and I just did paste link. I don't need to do it again, so I'm going to remove it. Oops, don't need it. I've already got it there, and I have it in a folder already. So since I have that
Select
video,
water, new.
I can go to DaVinci Resolve and notice that there's a workspace. I'm in the edit workspace, but there's also the media workspace, and there is the switch to page cut workspace, and there is the fusion workspace, and there is the color workspace, and there is the Fairlight workspace, which is an audio recorder, and there is the Deliver for publishing stuff. So I'm using the edit workspace because we're going to edit. And down here is the same thing. You can get the media workspace, you can get the cut workspace, you can get the edit, the fusion, which is some special effects, you can get color, Fairlight for audio, and Deliver there. So you can just go down to this bottom bar here to do it. And when you're in edit workspace, as you can see down here in the bar, or if you look up here on switch to page, when you do that, then you have a media master here that says no clips in media pool. Right click in there and say import media, and then find your video. Mine is in the 4K video downloader folder. There it is, and drop that in. And the other thing you want to bring in is some media to go behind the green screen. So I have in here somewhere, if I go to my data D, I have a folder called Mercy Maverick Screen Videos, and I think I should be able to add this as a, I thought maybe there's a way that you can add the folder, but maybe not. Okay, so anyway, that's there, and I'm going to pull that in, and I'm going to drop that first as a placeholder down on video track 1 and expand it out. I'm going to call that background images. And the reason I do that first is because I don't want to bother with having to move the video track above it. It has to be above it because this red arrow is a camera looking down, and it sees the top layer first. So when I drag your video, which comes in with audio in, now it's seeing that first. So it's seeing that on top. Whereas if I put this on top, then this track, let me show you, this track, video 3, would be on top of you, and you don't want that. You want to have the image behind the green screen, and then the camera has to replace the green with that. So then once I have that, I'm going to lock this background image track for the time being and lock the audio. And the video, I'm going to go now to the color space. And in the color space, I have this thing called a node here on the right. And I'm going to right click and say add alpha output. A little blue dot appears there. I'm going to connect this blue dot to that blue dot, and it makes everything transparent that was in there. Although I wish that I really don't want to get rid of, I guess that's what's going to happen. It's making everything transparent there. And let me first, before I connect the nodes, let me go to my eyedropper and click on this eyedropper and then click on the green. And you can see the green appears there. And then I'm going to flip it around so that it is the green that is disappearing and showing gray. You can hardly see it, but it is there. It's hard to make this any bigger. Can't really make it much bigger, but you can sort of see as I continue to click on this plus and click on the green that the green is disappearing and turning gray. So what would that do if it was done with an output? So if I go like this, then you're starting to see that image in the background. And you're also seeing when I click on the reverse that the person is ghosted and the background is there. So you want to do the opposite. You want to click on the person and then work with the color to see what color to remove. This is not necessarily the best way to do it, but it does work. I'm losing a bit of hair there, and so the big problem we're facing in this video is that the green is not a uniform green. The green has white from the window and then dark here from the pole that's behind it, casting a shadow. So you really are going to have a hard time doing green screen if you don't have a uniform, well-lit green surface. So my recommendation is put the green screen up against a wall that has no window and put it up against the wall and then light it from the front so that it's all even, and then you'll get a much better key. This is really hard to work with like this, as you can tell, and so we're not going to have happy times with green that looks like that. This is going to be very difficult to work with. But you can try your best. I don't give it much of a chance of success for working with this. There's another technique that you can do to get rid of the green, so we can try that. So let's get rid of this line and not use this color mode at all. So what we do instead is in Edit, we will go and we will come to this thing here, which shows Transform. This is how you can move the clip around under Transform. If it's grayed out, you won't be able to move it at all. But you can turn it on and you can transform it and make the person smaller, move them around. So that's kind of fun. You can also go in here and go to Crop, and you can crop up to the feet, crop down to here, and crop in to here. Now another problem is that you're standing with part of your shoulder off the green screen, so there's no way that we can remove that. You've got to be completely within the green screen, and of course when you're moving, then it's also going to be hard to know where the crop is, because your head is going to be bouncing up and down. So really the most important thing about this great video is that you have to have that everything in front of the green and have it be a good green. Otherwise it's just not going to work at all. But we're trying. And then when you do that, assuming you've selected this track, you can go up here to OpenFX Overlay. And then from OpenFX Overlay, you can search for key. And maybe it's not in that. Maybe it's Sometimes I get this wrong. Maybe it's fusion overlay. And let's see if key shows up. Assignments. No, how about 3D? No, okay. Sometimes things get funny. That's fusion effects. So let me try again. Open FX overlay. And let me see if I can find 3D in here. 3D. I'll be darned. All right. Resolve FX. Okay, 3D key. Sorry. It is found in there, but it's known as Resolve FX key, and it is under FX. So you have to have Open FX overlay on, and then you have to go down in the toolbox to Open FX, because that's what you're using here. Open FX overlay is what's on, and then Open FX filters, and then Resolve FX, and there's this thing called 3D keyer. There's actually a lot of effects that are in Resolve, but that's just one of them. All folders, search, everything. But the 3D keyer is the one that you can use. And you take this 3D keyer and you drop it onto this track here, and then you can grab here your picker and pick the colors, and you see it starts going away, and then you can go to add colors and pick that, and add colors and pick that. And little by little you start to get rid of the green, and then you can use this slider to get rid of most of it. Again, you've got a window back here, so it's really hard to get this thing to key out properly. And then you're going to have to go back in and get to your cropping. Ooh, I really messed that up, didn't I? Let me undo. Shouldn't have clicked on that. All right, so then you'd go out of FX and go back to your crop, and you'd have to crop it because you can't have anything that's not green, see? So that's about the best that we can do with this. And then when you click off of it,
with everyone in the room.
Right, it's not going to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination because the camera's moving. You need a camera to be held steady or on a tripod, and then
sunlight with everyone in the room.
You have yourself to see as the camera moves, it's going to reveal.
Sharing sunlight. More like hugging.
So this is going to have to be reshot because of that, but it's delightful. And then the other thing you do in Resolve is you come in and you look and you go, okay, this is the scene when she's facing this way and talking. I'll make this a little bit bigger actually. Let me go to transform and make this bigger, and maybe move the feet down there. You can do transform like that maybe. Get rid of that top part. And we have
growth, diversity.
Go through, and before you start walking across, you'd have to pause. You don't want to move. And then you would take this razor blade and you would cut that and come over here to before you start speaking and cut this, and then you'd want to take this arrow key and cut that out. Although I just actually messed with the audio. Really, let me go back, Control Z, Control Z. You have to select both the video track and the audio track, and then find your part of motion, do the cut. So, oh, and I have to unlock the audio track, or I'm not going to be able to cut it. All right. So now I am able to go in and take this just before you speak and cut this again, and then I can erase that, and I need to make this a little bigger so I can see better. And I did want to cut. There's my razor blade. There's my razor blade. Okay, so I'm cutting that and then coming in and deleting that, and so it will look like two different people, right?
Sharing sunlight, more like hugging the spotlight. I, on the other hand,
Maybe we should move this down a little bit. Oops, there we go. Okay, that like that.
Believe in strength, self-sufficiency. I stand tall without needing everyone else to pop me up. You won't catch me asking for extra fertilizer handouts.
Great script. Okay, so then
Handouts?
again we have this
I
moment
prefer
when you're crossing over, and before you move over, you would want to come in here and grab the video and audio, go to your razor blade, cut that, let yourself walk over, don't start speaking yet, cut this, take the arrow and hit delete, and then you have,
handouts. I prefer to call it
and cut like
community
that.
support.
But clearly there's so much going on here with that is not green that we'd have to keep moving this. So really, so the next steps for you are to reshoot it and make sure that you're always standing in front of green. Make sure that the green is against a blank wall that has no light source behind it, and that you're lighting from the front so the green is the same color all the time, and that your camera is absolutely still. Read one woman's part from one side, then pause, then go step on the other side, then start recording again. Then you can get a pretty good video out of this. So I'm really proud that you've given this a start, and hope you will start delving into learning Davinci Resolve and go for it and do it again. There's nothing to lose. All right, good job. Great job, great script, by the way.